There we go. And we do this because some of you couldn't make it, that some of you wanted to capture this recording, this 1 hour. So we are recording, we are capturing it, and we are going to be sending you the link to the recording and any others that couldn't make it that registered for the event. I just want to do a quick shout out before we get going. I will stop midway for some announcements, but I do want to thank the Syracuse chapter and all the gang. There's a whole bunch of you here today that have sponsored this event. When I say sponsor, Joseph, you and your gang have set this date, set this time, this worked for you. So that's kind of what sponsoring means. There's no financial commitment at all, but great to have your support. Thank you very much, Syracuse chapter. Folks, you don't need your cameras on. If you want to close them off, you can have your dinner or have a little glass of wine while we're chatting and no one will know the difference.
Oh, I'll turn my camera up then.
No, not you. I'm David Barrett. I'm the principal and the founder of ProjectBites.com and this event called Project Bites Live. Great to have you here. This is 1 month where this is our monthly event where we can spend time with our speakers who are already on the ProjectBites.com platform. If you are not there, check us out, $45 a year or absolutely free through your PMI chapter if they are a licensed chapter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each one of our panel members to very briefly introduce themselves. Who are you, where are you, and what do you do? But we're going to try and keep that under half a minute or so. And then there's got some questions that we're going to start digging in, and we're going to focus on project management and AI. What do I need to know? Why am I behind? Am I all right? Where are we going to be in some time in 2 to 3 years, and how can I prepare? So let's start with Jeff Manhardt. He will probably not tell you that he's from Buffalo. He's a big Buffalo Bills fan, and they just lost their just lost their head coach.
Painful.
And they lost the game. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was also the president of the Buffalo chapter of PMI, so I love to see Syracuse on here and their sponsorship. I've been a project program portfolio manager for over 20 years. I've run 3 PMOs, including the one here at the company I'm at right now called Compass, which is a food service company. We serve about 15 million meals a day in North America at stadiums, at restaurants, at churches, at hospitals, all the places. Really exciting component. And right now, for the last year or so, I've solely focused in the generative AI space, call myself a citizen intelligence director, focused on all things Gen AI and citizen development.
Great to have you here. Thank you, Jeff. My condolences to your football team. Ori.
Ori Schibi, nice to meet you all. I'm in Toronto, center of the universe. I've been doing project program, organizational change, agile, and now I've been focusing a lot on the impact that AI has on projects and on change. And with my relationship with ChatGPT, you should all feel safe because when AI takes over, they come after me first.
Okay, good to have you here. And Aina.
Hello, everybody. My name is Aina Alive, and I'm AI enthusiast. I am connecting AI with a little bit untypical angle, like decision-making under pressure, conflict resolution in negotiation, and any other soft skills we have. So I'm exploring right now how AI can polish the skills, and it's actually like a revolutionary part where AI can assist us instead of a human and a coach, and help us to navigate, point out on our strengths and weaknesses, and make our soft skills like better, way faster than ever before in human history. So that's me, and that's what I'm doing.
And you are on holiday in Italy, which we would all love to be with you, but cannot at the moment. I won't tell you about the weather in Toronto that you're missing tomorrow. Okay, I will. 5 to 10 centimeters of snow for those who are not in the metric system. That's a little bit.
I don't want to know, David. And by the way, yesterday I was in Syracuse, but in Sicilia.
Okay, there you go.
Wow.
Let me start. Thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, comments, questions in the chat box. I'll try to stay in touch and I'll try and stay connected. So let's start with a fun question, and you know, I've never kind of thought of this, but when you saw AI at the beginning, and I remember that, oh, here we go. What was your initial reaction? Probably in relation to what you do as a profession as well, but in general, Do you remember back and what did you think?
That was only just a couple of years ago, right? For me, it was in 2022, and I had a friend tell me about ChatGPT. Signed in, asked some questions, got some interesting answers, and started the journey there. I didn't even start with, work stuff. I was focused on personal stuff, and at the time, I was thinking about building a house, and it was amazing as a brainstormer about how to build a house, what to look for, what questions to ask. So, I was hooked pretty early.
So really, and immediately you went in fast and maybe cautiously, but I'm hearing you applied it to a personal need and things worked. Was it a different product 2 to 3 years ago than it was today, Jeff? Or
Yeah, it was only at the time about a master's degree level of intelligence. Right now, it's a doctorate level in nearly every discipline in the world. So lots of changes since then, and it wasn't as conversational in the beginning. It would give you answers, but it didn't have this back and forth dialogue. You had to do a
sure.
lot more to do that.
Yeah, very cool. Ori, what did you do? You remember back how many moons ago?
It was very young 2 years ago, but initially, when everybody said that everybody will be replaced, I was thinking of becoming a plumber very quickly. But soon after, I realized that no, we're not going to be replaced, right? I mean, the accountability is still there. And I started to pick up that soon after that, it can help us and it will expedite certain things that we do, and it will reduce the amount of tasks that we are bogged down with. So we become more like design architects. And then I started to realize that in the future, when AI is common practice and everybody's using it, probably the organizations that will stand out are the ones with the stronger human capital. So back to the interpersonal skills. So it will just like everything else, any revolution that we went through eventually becomes mainstream, and we will benefit from it, and it will expedite and help us in all sorts of aspects. But project managers are not going to be replaced anytime soon.
So you saw it as a revolution pretty quickly. You saw that it was going to strike fast and it was going to hold. Did you have any doubts?
Well, we see that, but there's no doubt. I think we're still all in a little bit of an awe by what's happening, but it's not happening the way that it was predicted at the beginning. Because
yeah, but I'm going back to your initial reaction, not to your current state. But back then, did you believed?
No panic. I mean, I started to think. You always think, okay, how do you stand out? How do you not being replaced by a tool, if you like, or by artificial intelligence in this case? No panic. But it's taking all sorts of routes that we still don't know, and we still don't know so many things.
Yeah, but you went. It's interesting. So early on, that's where I was heading. Just the initial reaction. You went on the defensive a bit and said, we've got to. It's going to be there, and I better jump on fast. Aina, do you remember the days?
Yes, I remember it was the end of 2022, beginning 2023. I heard about GPT first and started exploring the other tools. And my first thought was, it's something interesting. And my gut told me that it's going to be a new revolution. And I've been hoping for it. I've been looking forward for it because I've been in Agile for a while. I'm an Agile coach, but I felt like I need something else. And I also felt like Agile is dying. And remember, it was back 2022. It wasn't dead yet, but I felt that it's dying. And I'm like, okay, so what is going to be next for me? What is the next wave or like a next field, next profession? But I was almost like 40 years old, and I'm like, so okay, like for something else it will take me another like 10 years or so to jump in, and many people already have like lots of advantages. And then AI, GPT, Claude, Gemini, like here it is my new wave. So I'm in.
Interesting.
I'll just jump in there real quick and say we're all technically curious people, and I think that lent a lot to us diving in. I know a number of folks who are scared of that technology, scared of it, and scared about putting things in. So part of what I'm seeing as people go through this journey is change management at its core and how people react to change. The people that love change are jumping in. The people that don't are not.
That's interesting. Good, good. Jeff, I appreciate that. Let me ask you something, all of you. If you think, let's leave the 2 years ago and come up to today. What's one of the biggest myths you see when you hear people in the project management business talk about AI? What is there a theme? Is there a comment that you hear a lot of where they just got it wrong? Anyone? Aina, do you want to start, or Uri?
I can
Aina?
start, yes. I wouldn't say that it's a myth, but what I constantly keep hearing is that the phrase to keep a human in the loop. And honestly speaking, I hate this phrase because when somebody says it, I feel like we are putting AI in charge, and AI is just keeping us in a loop like, hey, human, everything is okay. I'm in charge. I'm handling it. Just relax. And no, I feel like we shouldn't say, or like we shouldn't definitely like keep a human in the loop. A human is still in charge, and AI is doing the operational side of our job, and we're still doing the thinking side. Yes, we can brainstorm with AI, but we are still the one who is having like the reason why we are doing it, what we are doing it, and AI is handling how we are doing it, or like delegating the routine work. And then when AI is done with the routine work, it's like, yes, human, it's done. What is the next step?
Yeah, yeah. So maybe what you're hearing is the big myth on your side is that people do believe that it's a lot more powerful than it is, and or it's going to control more than people would want. And you're careful, you got to keep the human in the loop. Is that whoa, no, humans are still running the show. This is just a tool that we have access to. Was that a good feedback?
Yes, it is. And also I feel like maybe there are different types of people. Like some people like taking responsibility and being in charge, and the other ones, they just like to give this responsibility to someone, to the leader or like whoever else. And the people who don't like to take responsibility and be in charge of whatever they do, maybe they keep saying that, oh, AI now is going to handle everything and just keep us in the loop. But no, AI is a tool for humans, not something like we cannot outsource thinking to AI. We outsource routine to AI.
Yeah. Okay, good. Ori, what did you think? A myth that you hear often.
It's a myth, but the trajectory it has taken, there are two things. First of all, we are all over the place. So we don't know exactly to what extent, and the use of AI is so different from one person to another within organizations. So some project managers I see benefit from it a lot. Others don't. Of course, there's the mistake that some people make, that they copy and paste stuff that is picked up over there on the tools, and they don't actually have the oversight. But I think that one thing we are not addressing enough, and we're going to have a wake-up call, is the ethical side. Probably we're going to get to it, because it's a matter of time until there's going to be some mistake somewhere, medical probably, or safety, that is going to make it to the news, that AI will make a decision that is not going to be overseen by a human. Something's going to happen, and then it's going to make it to the news. And at that point, everybody's going to start having ethics committees, and we got to have an oversight.
Yeah. So back to the question, Ori, what's the myth that you're hearing? If you could take this back to, so what do you hear out there where you would like to tell people, you've got this wrong? You're wrong. Is that?
I think that not all, but many times it's the over-reliance, right? I mean, what AI produces is a Venn diagram, right? It has some stuff that opens our eyes. It has some stuff that we've seen, and it has a whole bunch of garbage, right? That may not be relevant to what we need. So we got to have that filter, and we don't always have that filter. So sometimes you see things, or people say things, or the right things that come out of I don't know where, but they make no sense. So we need to actually have that human aspect.
I'll tag in right there, because I think that one of the things that I think people have as a myth is that AI is a thinking product. It's actually a predictor of the next word. And so you get this paragraph of information. It didn't think about that whole paragraph and then give it to you because it had a brain. I predict the next word is this word, and it does that 1,000 times really quickly. And that, when people start to realize it's a predictor engine, they start to realize that it can predict wrong. And I think, to Ori's point before, that's where you get hallucinations. That's where you get things that just, it says it confidently, but really it's not right.
Stephanie just typed in AI hallucinations. Exactly.
Yes.
Just when you said the word hallucinations.
We're connected.
And if
That's
I may
right.
to add, David, to what Jeff just said, yes, it's a predictor, but it's not just a predictor. It also tries to predict what you want to hear, because it observes your behavior, it observes your patterns, it observes your way of thinking.
I know.
Lost
I
part of
getting a
that.
bad connection there.
If you type something, it will try not to predict, but to predict what.
You know, I know we're getting a bit choppy on the audio, and I'm going to say, how about you turn the video off? That should help with the transmission. It's interesting. I've heard that 5.2 version is being criticized because it is too nice. It's too agreeable. It's not pushing back enough. It's not arguing.
You have to tell it to argue with you. I think that's part of what I'm learning as well about how to leverage these tools, is it will listen to you, it will react to you, as Elena said. You have to tell it. I have to say, I'm a project manager who's looking at this, and I want your opinion. I want you to look at it critically, not just agree with whatever I say.
So that's news to me. That's really actually interesting. I actually used ChatGPT this Christmas for at a party where I handed it handwritten 4 lines from each of the 18 people in the room, and I prepared it earlier. It did a handwriting analysis. Very fun. I said, give me an analysis of each of these personalities, and it was so good. And then on the walls, I put the 2 couples, the couples together on one page, and said, who is this couple? So, and they even gave me a name. It even gave me a title. But I had to tell it, this is fun. This is holiday party. Be nice. I've never thought about the flip, which is don't be nice, push back. I want critical. An honest opinion.
Yeah, you can't tell it to be mean or to hate you, or there's guardrails around things like I want to build a weapon. It's not going to do those things. But you have to give it some of what you want, some context. I think if I were to give words of wisdom, it's context is king as using AI.
Interesting. Want to add either Ori or Aina before we move on? That's really interesting. I like that.
With the answers that it gives also, we got to take into account that it will go to established resources, to peer reviews, academic research. So if you ask a question that has not been covered by these areas, it will not have a decent answer.
Will it make up a new answer? Will it try to bluff its way through it? Or is it just going to say, I don't know?
It doesn't say, I don't know, it's AI. It will just default. It will just default back to, yes, but this is it. So it's not until you challenge it, where you're getting the information from. And I actually challenged and said, listen, I'm going to academic research, I'm going to peer review, I'm going to establish sources, right? And if you ask a question that has not been covered, I don't have an answer. That it took a lot of pulling teeth for me to get that admission.
Yeah, interesting. Roy says AI models are designed to be whatever that word is, e.g., example, agreeable. Heather says, I regularly ask mine to be more direct when appropriate. I really like that. Interesting. So here's something. Where do you guys expect to see? Where are you seeing AI used in project work? Or I could say, even if it's not there, where do you expect? When you walk into an environment, if I transferred you or I put you into a gig right now in a project environment where there was a big team of people implementing a very large project, what would you expect to see in terms of AI usage? Or what are you seeing in terms of AI usage? Aina, are you, it's hard without your visual there, but I think it's better for the audio. Can you, do you want to take a stab?
Yeah, sure. If you can hear me well now.
Oh, that's so much better. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. So yes, if I walk in a new organization, so the first thing I see, because I work in IT, so I see the automation, like testing automation, coding automation, like refactoring automation. So all of this is already possible to handle by AI, like depends on what extent. The second thing is talking about project management. Yes, delegation routine, like everybody's heard a million times, like creating meeting notes. But again, it really depends on the prompt. If you just ask it to summarize meeting notes, it might not summarize the way you want it to be summarized, because it depends on what angle we want it to be summarized. Like, for example, would you like to identify like action items, or assign who is responsible, or like any other things you want to point out, you need to provide in a prompt. Another thing is...
Can I stop you right there?
Yes.
Can I interject? My tool is Fathom, and I've never told Fathom what I need. It just simply gives me 2 files, the whole script. For anybody that isn't using Fathom or Otter or ChatGPT straight through for meeting notes, or by the way, I think this one's called Wave, which is on my phone. So for the in-person meetings, I'm putting Wave on and putting my phone with permission on the table. If you're not doing this, you are already, I mean, that's a given. When I walk in, now interject. When I walk in, I expect no one's taking notes. AI is producing the notes from and by the way, I say to AI in the middle of the meeting, by the way, in attendance is, and I say, note to AI or note to file, can you make sure that in the action items, we put the following phone number in there for the readers. So you can direct it in the middle of the meeting. It is someone taking notes for you right there. Talk to them, but that's an absolute minimum. I'm sorry to cut you off.
You'd already been doing that.
You were on a roll.
Yeah, that is like what I expect to see when I just walk into like any organization, any new organization. A little bit advanced use of GPT, definitely like writing the reports or providing like dashboards or any other requests your leadership needs. So it takes some skills, but it's also possible to automate. Another thing I'm working on, if we have large teams in different time zones, is to optimize everyone's calendars and to send the reminders like who is on vacation and what dates, because we keep receiving emails that, hey, I'm on vacation from January 12th to January 26th. And multiple stakeholders are sending these emails and we just simply don't remember. So what I'm trying to optimize is to put all of these vacation dates in my AI as soon as I receive an email. And then every day AI is providing me with a summary, like, good morning, Aina, these people are still on vacation. This person is going to come back like 3 days later. So I kind of like can plan my day, and also being proactive, thinking that, okay, this task is going to have a delay because I'm dependent on the person and this person is going to come back in 5 days. So I don't spend my time and energy thinking like, should I reach out to the person? Should I check their calendar and see when they come back?
Now, I must say, if I go back to the question that said, what do you expect to see? That maybe was a little advanced, but you did preface it by saying, okay, a little bit on the advanced side.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Jeff, what do you expect to see other than note-taking?
Here's what I'm going to say. Something that's happening right now with the Microsoft suite of tools, which is what I use in my work environment. Right now, when a project starts, we ask Copilot to help us develop a business case for the project, help it define the ROI for the project. We then use that to create the personas for who's going to be the stakeholders. We then use that to create the requirements based on those teams meetings we're having. We're talking about, I want the system to do this. I'd love it to do that. It shouldn't do this. Use those meeting minutes to create the requirements that can then develop into the test cases, that can develop into the quality metrics. That's actually happening right now in projects at Compass.
Okay, but Jeff, that's a stretch. I'm going to go back to Aina's last piece as well. Whoa, says me. That's pretty heavy. Okay, I get it. Thank you for that. What you're seeing, you jumped ahead of a couple of questions in my interview here. The question was, what do you expect? And I think that's a big ask to be going into that space. Can you give me something that, as an observer, you would say, your AI environment in this culture right now is getting a 2 out of 10 because I'm not seeing X?
Well, some things that it can't do are the same things that Ori mentioned before. We are still leading projects that are people-driven projects. There are people in the projects. You can't have AI lead people. That's where the project leaders come in.
Of course.
AI is not doing that work. It can help communicate. It can help all of the drudgery things that we already talked about, but it can't do the people-to-people conversations.
Right. But what did you expect to see? What are you seeing now as base use for AI? I'm still trying because I'm not getting the right answer here. I'm looking for the answer to when you walk in and see them not doing X with AI, you would be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we've already covered Teams and meeting minutes. That is a given.
But no, you didn't say the word Teams, by the way. And someone said, by the way, Teams could take minutes, and that is very clearly made. Thank you.
Fair point. Yeah. Copilot in Teams can take minutes. They have a facilitator agent that's already built in that not only takes the minutes, but also identifies the action items, assigns the person, sets the agenda, takes track of the meeting along the way to ensure that the meeting's on calendar. That's table stakes already. And really,
thank you. That was a good answer. That was a good one. And if you are on Microsoft platform, what he just said.
Indeed.
Okay. Ori, what do you think?
Before we move to other benefits, early on, there was some extension to Microsoft Teams, and I don't remember what it was that we applied to take minutes. And it also provided us all sorts of sentiments about the participants. So actually how loud people talked or how fast and everything. I participated in that meeting for 45 minutes. I had no role because I came in for a decision, and it said that I had attitude because I wasn't talking for 45 minutes. So first of all, I was offended. Then we got a phone call from HR to shut it down very quickly. So we went back. But beyond the minutes, that it's really, I mean, this is a recording and summary, and it accelerates. Like you said before, and Jeff, it's not going to replace people or decisions. I do use it for scenarios related to risk management, right? Definitely to sharpen my communications. I mean, we're all excellent in communications, but still. And yeah, these main things really, the risk management and scenario analysis and communications, in addition to the minutes so far.
And so you think that's a baseline, that the risk register you should be given the risk register to AI as a foundation to projects. If you're not, what I'm trying to do is get you to say, hey, if you're not here, you're falling behind.
I'm not asking you to lead it because the AI does not have the full context that we have, but definitely it enhances. So when we provide certain things of certain areas, it can definitely elaborate and give us some direction. Again, with the hallucinations, it may give us also wrong directions, but definitely it accelerates the process, right? And not replacing us, but help us. Accelerating the process is very good because it will free up time for us to actually focus on things that add value that AI cannot do for us.
And David, I'll add one more thing. I think you say, if you're not doing this, you're already behind. And I guess one of my answers is you have to be experimenting. The only way you're going to know what you can use it for is to experiment with using. So if you're not experimenting, you're already behind, in my estimation.
Okay, appreciate that. We've given the groundwork and the parameters and the rules and the frame around our corporate environment. There's that whole discussion where we've got to be cognizant of what we're allowed to do. I will add, if you're working with an organization that has not set the standard, the rules, or working on a set of standards and rules for AI usage, your organization is behind. They should be working on that now. There should be a committee of people, the executive team, whoever, should be publishing something right now that says, this is what we will allow. And I would also suggest that they should be giving you some direction of where they're headed with AI. Because if it's totally restrictive, you may not use it. As an employee of this organization, I go, well, that's kind of cool, but when will we be able to use it, and how? And I would expect, as I was saying, this baseline stuff now we're to the corporate side, I would expect that. I would expect that we're working on it. I think that we don't like it, we're not using it. I would suggest that I might be in the wrong company, because we want to be breaking the ice out there. I really appreciate that. I'm going to take a brief moment, a quick commercial break. Try to keep this under 1 minute. I wanted to quickly mention a couple of things that are going on in my life and the project business. We'll start right here. Just a quick reminder, we run these events every month, and next month we are February the 18th, noon Eastern Standard Time, with 2 great speakers. I know you'll enjoy them. Make sure that that's in your calendar. Register at ProjectBites.com under the heading Events. If you don't know Project Bites, we are a platform of 20-minute units of education, inspiration. Oh, I've chosen the wrong file. This is the auto, not the manual. Sorry. So that means I'm going to have to talk quicker. Yay. 20-minute bites from 150 speakers, 380 hours of content, qualified for PDUs. Check us out. If you are not a member of one of the 53 chapters that have licensed it, which means you get it free, Nashville's here, Syracuse is the 2 of them that I know that are represented well here. You have this product available to you. Check your website. The login information will be there with a pretty video from me, plus the code you need to get the pricing down. Check it out. By the way, if you're into mini bites, 1 to 2 minute answers as well, YouTube is available, YouTube channel. Check us out. Go to YouTube, search on the word Project Bites. And every time I cut a video with a speaker, we cut it 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 little mini bites, 1 to 2 minute answers from there. Please, folks, I've posted twice now into this link, or use the Scan Me and the Scan Me code. Please feedback. Really would appreciate knowing how we are doing with these events and this one. I'm really pleased to announce, by the way, that I've started a podcast channel. It's called the Bite Size Project Manager, hosted by me. Sorry. 20-minute interviews by these guys, by others. We've got all of 2 episodes up. I am interviewing them. We're talking about their content. We're talking about things that mean something to us as project managers, not theory, but application. We end each with, if I gave you the permission to tell me, if I ask you, what's the one nugget you take into every project that makes you successful, what would it be? All of our interviews end with that question. Really cool stuff. So I hope you can join us. Go to any of your podcast providers right now, Spotify and Apple, search on the Bite-Sized Project Manager. I will send you all a email in the next 2 to 3 business days, confirming that we are 1.0 ways of working is the code, or is the claim for the PDU. I believe, Syracuse, that you have registered this, or Nashville, but if either of you have, we can all use that. Let me know, and I'll make sure it's in the email, including link to the recording of this presentation as well. That's it, folks. Thank you for that, and we're back to our panel. I said that would be a quick.
David, I saw a couple of the comments in the comment section. They're just quick notes around Grok. Use it personally. Don't use it professionally on purpose. PMI Infinity, which is PMI's AI tool, great at unlocking the knowledge behind the paywall. Your other agents won't get there because it is behind a paywall, unless you're using some type of computer work, which Chat and Copilot have. So just wanted to capture those 2 items.
Appreciate that. Thanks. I'm glad you're reading it. I am not in my office. As you can tell, I'm in, it doesn't matter where, the lighting's terrible. And I've got the laptop set on a box and the camera up there, and I can't even read the writing in the chat box. It's just terrible. By the way, folks, here, I'll put that Survey Monkey link in there again. Okay, let's just do a quick one. Just confirming, and I know you've said a few things. Tell me, where do I not go with AI? What is AI not capable of doing? Let's just a quick cover on that question. Or you want to start? Just give me a 1 or 2. Listen, folks, AI is not capable of ... Or you shouldn't be using AI for ...
AI definitely cannot see the big picture. Whatever prompt you provide, even if you ask it to think broadly, to do the research, etc., it just grabs like the words you provided and start brainstorming around this. So it's up to us, to human, to think about the North Star, to think about the predictions, and to provide the meaning of what we are doing and why we are doing. So to summarize my speech, AI cannot give us the meaning.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Jeff?
Yeah, I think that's a great point on context or meaning. People still have to do that. That's what drives the responses that we get from ChatGPT. From a project perspective, I think it's really important to recognize people-to-people conversations. Yes, we can use those tools to help us with those communications, but we still have to do that work. That doesn't go away. It will always be true that as people are part of projects, we have to talk to each other.
We do, but AI can help. A number of times I've got myself in a conversation that I needed the words for the email, I needed the paragraph for the letter, I needed the words when we meet, and it was pretty helpful. Okay, if I were you, David, this is what I would say, because this is pretty sticky and you got to be careful, and not bad. Careful, but read it well, but not bad. Ori?
Indeed.
It's an accelerator, it's not a replacer. It helps with tasks, not with architecture. It cannot make decisions, no accountability. So these things are not going to change. It will continue to accelerate, it will continue to help, but just like Aina said before, it can never have the full context to actually know everything that it needs to know that we know, right? No matter how good we are with the prompts.
I wanted to say something a little bit earlier for those in the audience that have not used AI. I'm going to point something out that I didn't understand at the beginning. This has nothing to do with that last question, but I just want to make it clear. If you have an account with AI, and you can use it for free, but it will not know you from one session to another, of course. But if you have an account, you've registered, and you are paying what per month, anyone? $40?
Yeah.
Yes.
It remembers every word you said, and every response it gave, and every reaction, and that conversation back and forth, which a few of your panel members have alluded to today, how important it is to be able to have that conversation, not just take the answer verbatim. Even today, I said, I don't like the answer. I'm doing a presentation tomorrow. It's helped me with the outline. I got to the closer. Okay, this has been good. We are going to nail this. I need a closer, and I'm going to call her she. She gave me the closer, and I hated it. I said, no, you know what, don't like it. And of course, going back to she's so agreeable, she said, oh yeah, you're really right on that one. That's not very good. Well, why didn't you give it to me in the first place? Give me the words, give me that final quote for that 3-hour presentation. It's the slam door killer quote. And it did all right. It remembers all of this. And I use it for that and that. I got 5 parts of my life. And when I say, and my daughter said, Dad, try this. Ask ChatGPT or Copilot, what's my superpower? She said, just type, what's my superpower? It will go back to everything it's ever said and give you an incredible synopsis of you and your power and the good stuff. Then ask, and so where are my gaps? And you will be quite amazed. It's absolutely eerie how well it knows you from these conversations, which
how well it's predicted the next words based on previous words you told it.
That's what you've said twice now, which is quite fascinating, isn't it?
Because you said it knows you, and that's that feeling, that empathy. We feel like it knows us, but it really doesn't, and that's a danger I think we have to watch ourselves with.
It is. Okay.
You made in the comments there that your wife is AI, so you don't need actually to use any of the tools.
My wife does what, Howard? Isn't it funny, particularly that we think that
don't
AI...
Ask.
No.
Don't ask.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
I can add to this, David. So you can definitely ask about your superpower, but you can ask about your greatest weakness, and it will also provide you an answer.
Well, that was my
gap.
In my case, I called it my gaps instead of my greatest weaknesses, but that is exactly.
Yes.
And so where?
Yeah, and
where do
I have a funny
down?
story for it. So I asked about my weakness, and it said that I have a very high demands for myself and for like the others around me. Okay. And like, okay, so why do you think that? And it said, because you said that even Prince Harry doesn't have a character from time to time. And I'm like, so when did I say it? And it's June 18th, 2023.
You gotta be kidding. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. You'd like it to forget a bit. Yeah, maybe we should be able to go back and, well, we can always close the account and start fresh. I use it for my grant proposals for a not-for-profit. I'm the chair of it. I'm the fundraiser of, and I have to do about 10 or 15 grant proposals a year. And I'm now using it to answer the questions. It knows my organization so well. It answers it but I edit it every time. I'm going to also mention quickly it's called the M dash. You guys know about the M dash?
Yes.
It's the little symbol that AI put embeds. It uses dashes instead of commas, not all the time, but it uses dashes a lot, quite like me. And that dash is a giveaway that you've just copy pasted the text, because the dash is a little bit longer than the dash on your keyboard. Be careful, go through it, and delete the M dashes. Not that your reader's going to say, hey, it's AI, but your readers are going to say, it's AI. Look, she didn't delete the M dash. So,
David, sorry, a couple of things. First of all, there was a comment there, does deleting conversations remove the data? Well, it's almost like you delete your browsing history, but actually your carrier remembers that. So I don't think it deletes anything. The other thing, yes, it's amazing what it knows about us, but remember, it does not really have the ability to manage or to even handle human emotions or the politics in the organization.
Yeah, I think, the politics, we should come to that one. I like what you went to. You can delete your memory. That is true. It will tell you that it has forgotten what you have been talking through. But you're also training the model behind that. That model, as somebody asked earlier, what is AI? What are we talking about? The generative AI we're talking about here uses a model that's been trained on your information. So yeah, it may have lost the conversation, may have told you I'm not including it in what I respond to, but it's trained other responses.
Good question. When using Google Meet, does that have the ability to work with Microsoft PowerPoint in presentation mode? That's a problem I've observed. Does anybody know if that's been fixed yet?
What, Google Meet and Apple what?
Microsoft PowerPoint in presentation mode. Because I found one time I switched to presentation mode, everybody lost it. And I didn't know, and I just carried on through.
Maybe not.
They're
maybe
moving
not
to
an AI topic, but
it's a Google Suites. They moved to Google Suites, and they want you to use that tool.
Interesting. There you go. Okay, let's talk about the future. Crystal ball time. Where are we in 3 to 5 years, guys, gals, gal? Where are we in 3 to 5 years with AI and project management specific AI? Are we where are we in the project management business with AI? Anyone start?
I can start. 3 to 5 years is definitely hard to predict, but what I noticed, what I was trying to predict a year ago, it happened even faster than I predicted. So I predicted 2 to 3 years. It's happening right now. Wow. So probably whatever I say right now, like for 3 to 5 years, it will be happening in the next 2 to 3 years. So what I think, some organizations are going to be really advanced with AI, because especially organizations who are startups and they have to sell a lot, they're using AI like crazy, and they already develop AI agents and replicate human knowledge, etc. And the other organizations who are more conservative, they're just trying to taste the waters and still thinking how they're going to use AI. So there's going to be a big gap between those startups who are already in depth and the organizations who are just trying. And the same with people with project managers. So if you're working for the organization who is just trying, the next 3 to 5 years, you will be in a big disadvantage compared to those who are in startups and who are already heavily trying it. I think they're going to be AI agents, and talking 5 years, they're going to be hybrids of humans team and AI agents team. And as managers, as project managers, we are gonna work with this like hybrids and to learn how to like manage projects when like half of your team is our AI agents.
Wow. Okay. Sunny pops in and says, I predict no more free access. Oh, yeah. All AI platforms will require a paid subscription. That's interesting. Big corporates are also using ChatGPT at enterprise for data privacy concerns. Ori or Jeff, where are we in 3 to 5? Do you see anything drastic happening up there?
David, first of all, as a project manager, you said 3 to 5 years. Don't use ranges. Ask me for specific time.
Yeah, well, that's true. You know, well, you're right. You know, this is a milestone, not a range. This is not a task. It's a milestone. Yeah.
You know, you tell your manager 3 to 5 years, they hear 3 years. But I think that, again, I'm trying to look at it from our point of view, from the skills that we need. So we will need, I completely second what Aina said about the organizations that are still experimenting, they're going to fall behind, right? But as far as how do we excel, first of all, we got to really improve our problem framing. So it involves a little bit prompting, right? I mean, we got to improve that. We got to focus because it's as good, the answer that it's going to give us potentially is as good as the prompting. The second thing, the critical evaluation part, right, on our part, right? So we must validate and challenge and contextualize what it gives us, right? So in order to be able to stay ahead. And the third thing, back to the human capital that I said, back to the human leadership, right? I mean, it will increase the brand. Remember, there's going to be more exposure. The teams are going to be more exposed to all sorts of things, and we got to be able to focus. So more accelerated organizational change that interferes, if you like, or impacts our projects.
That's interesting. I'm doing a session tomorrow, 3-hour facilitated session with a corporation on change management. This is going to bring big change to organizations. And what I think I heard you say is it isn't the AI tool that's going to rock in 3 to 5 years. The usage will rock, and Aina's predictions for 2 years will be in 1 year and happen tomorrow. But it will bring big change. Organizations that don't manage that change well will be in trouble. And thank you, because you just added a massive piece to my little session tomorrow.
If you don't change, you will fail. That was true in the era of the internet. It was true in the era of mobile phones. It was true now. If you as a project manager don't change and adapt with the technology, someone who will take that role. You know, if one of the things that I would tell you to tie into the components we mentioned earlier, digital workers will work alongside people workers in a project team and do not only the tasks that I mentioned earlier, but think of it in an agentic automation. I see that over the next, let's say 12 to 18 months as the next frontier in this space, where it will take actions for us in an automated fashion as agents or digital workers doing that work, and then tell you when it's done. I'll give you a quick example. Just today, I used ClickUp to manage my house project because, you know, as project managers, we manage our own stuff. And in that, I used a super agent for ClickUp that gave me my agile status report for the day. It was fantastic. And I think that's what we have to be thinking about, is the art of the possible and making sure we're investing in our human intelligence to take advantage of the artificial intelligence.
I think that's important. I think what you're suggesting is we as project people, we jump on these tools. We heard earlier, experiment, get involved, start using it, because in 3 to 5 years, what I'm hearing, in 3 years, they will, these
or less
automated things will be right beside us, and they will be providing pieces of the puzzle as directed by our organization, as our whoever in the organization, or it'll just start happening. My wife was actually typing in a new document on a new platform, and it started popping stuff that she had no idea. She hadn't configured it properly, but it was configured to actually be working alongside her. So if she had a thought, it produced an image of that thought, and she said, "Whoa, where did that come from?" This stuff's going to happen automatically, and it's going to be set up for us, because I think that there's eventually going to be an expectation that this will become the norm, which is a little scary, but this stuff is going to become the norm. Anyone add?
Yes.
Ori?
The things probably we're going to see more AI for governance that will help us in governance and in compliance. But I think that this system is going to impact project management, especially in technology. And we already see it that AI is going to start replacing the junior developer. Because already now with the right prompting, you get great code. The only thing is that the great code has to be overseen by a senior developer, but at that pace, in a few years, the senior developers are going to retire. We're not going to have junior developers becoming senior. So this is something we're going to have to take a look at.
Yeah, I'll just tag on to that. I think junior in all fields. We used to use interns for that manual labor work. We used to use junior PMs or project administrators to go do meeting minutes. We don't need that anymore. And so that entry level position has changed from where that was to something different. And I think we all have to think about where that something different is, where that new floor is, and make sure new folks coming into the workforce are at that new floor instead of where that old floor used to be.
Which light bulb there, which leads to the question that Tess Jurgens, who's one of our providers on ProjectBites platform, as are these three folks. If you're not on ProjectBites and you're not looking at some of this content, they have 20-minute video bites, audio video available on some really cool topics, not just AI. Tess is one of them. And Tess says, so what skills are most important for project managers to learn or grow to differentiate from the average AI bot? Like the question, Tess. Thank you. Anybody want to take a swipe at that?
Yeah, I'll take a first stab. I think if your organization has a tool, dive into that tool, whether it's Copilot or Microsoft-based tools. Microsoft has integrated Copilot into everything: Planner, ADO, every tool that you might use as a project manager. If it's outside of that platform, if it's Smartsheet or it's ClickUp, get into those tools. I think that is one of the first things that I recommend. The second is spending time rethinking what you do. Just this week, I spent time rethinking how I start my morning routine. It changed from going to email and seeing what I have in my email box, checking out priorities for my calendar. Now I just ask my Copilot to help prioritize my day based on things that I've already told it is important. It saves me a ton of time. But it's because I rethought how I do my daily work.
Interesting that Ina's got it set up so that it's actually telling her who's away at this certain time, and she's got this process going where you are being told what's important to you on a daily basis through the AI bot.
Yes.
Either of you?
It doesn't make coffee to the point in the text.
Not yet.
Not yet. Or maybe.
Ina?
Yeah, I can add to this. So actually, the conversation about the junior PMs and junior developers, it's something which I predicted a year ago is going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. So it's happening right now, a year after. And the skills important for project managers, definitely to know the tools, to be able to work with AI. And again, AI is an umbrella. So by AI, we might talk about Claude, GPT, Grok, like any other tool your organization is using. So do the research about the organization and learn the tool. But I think what can differentiate us from AI and other project managers is handling pressure and making decisions under pressure, not just guessing or panicking. That's what we cannot delegate to AI. And as I mentioned before, North Star, a bigger picture, having meaning, AI cannot do it. So it's up to us project managers to provide it. Soft skills, communication, prompting, and actually it's my goal for 2026 to be a better communicator, to expand my English vocabulary, not just English, any other languages I speak. Why? Because in 2025, I used AI a lot to help me write in emails, to summarize my thoughts, to polish my posts. And what I noticed, AI uses the same style for everyone. I open LinkedIn, I open Instagram, I open any other second email, and I see the same style, and I see that it's written by AI. So was it just polished? or the user even haven't read it, just delegate it to AI and just copy paste it without thinking of it. And I don't want my stakeholders or whoever reads me to think that I just delegated to AI and don't know what AI is writing for me. So I need my unique communication style, and that's what I want to focus on 2026.
That's fascinating. I wrote a few books, and I learned about this thing called a style sheet. And we knew what a style sheet was when we were using Word or WordPerfect or however old you are. But what happens is authors, I guess the producers, whoever publishes the book, they create a style sheet on this author. And they did on me. And they said, this is the style that he writes in. He uses dashes for these purposes. He uses commas. He actually uses a comma not after the and, which is a bit more in another country, but he uses the apples, comma, oranges, and bananas. There's no, that kind of thing is all, that's me. That's my style. That's my brand, apparently. Careful of AI. First time I've heard this. You know what? This is not your brand. And you get AI to write all this stuff and your touch, that piece that said, this is David Barrett writing, all gone, isn't it? I like that. Ori, thank you, Aina.
Main things, and first of all, I peaked with my communications in 2025, so I don't think it's going to get better. But and for the future, it's really improving the leadership skills and the analytical thinking. Ironically, we need the analytical thinking on top. And there was a question there by David Russo II. What's the new entry level? And this is a good question, because just like with the developer, the project manager too, we will need to be more senior with more experience, but how are we going to get there without that junior experience? And probably one last thing on my part is going to be the product co-pilot. We just got to remember it's a co-pilot. It's not a pilot. So it cannot lead for us. That's really, I think, the main message moving forward.
Really appreciate that. Guys, ladies, Aina, Ori, I'm going to give you one last question. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to answer. But I really want to thank all of you for this session. People are having to leave, but boy, they're saying this was great. I've learned a ton. Thank you. Listen, if you had to give someone and anyone in the audience one piece of advice for something that they should do tomorrow, they're probably newer into this business, or maybe they're advanced. What would you say? What would be your advice if you said, okay, if I were you, tomorrow I would start, or tomorrow I would ... What would that be? On the last piece of advice, having heard everything we just said in the last hour, who wants to start? Good. Aina, you're on.
Okay, so I would say if you already use GPT or whatever AI you use, ask it for your superpower and for your weakness, and start treating your superpower more and working on your weakness.
I love that answer. That's very good. I don't want to go back to my weaknesses. I heard it. I saw it. It was dead on. And I just, I've heard it many times before, so never mind. Jeff, what do you say?
I'll go next. I would say, if you haven't started, start. If you're already on your journey, think about the art of the possible, what you can do different tomorrow that you did yesterday. If you're already past some of that, think about how you can help those other people on their journey. And then ask your favorite AI agent to give you a grade, a report card grade on your usage of AI.
It's a really good idea. I've never thought of that. Thank you. Ori?
If you look at my video, you will see I was showing the audio level that I was receiving from you right now. That's muted, but your audio of everybody could have been 5 dB louder.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
Thank you very much, Franklin. Appreciate that. Good feedback. Ori, what's your advice?
Most of what I wanted to say, I would continue to experiment. Keep having the conversations with your AI agent so you learn how to prompt it and you learn the types of answers, and keep sharpening, again, the analytical skills that you should have, and then the leadership skills that you should demonstrate with the changes and the turmoil that AI is going to continue to introduce.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll finish off by saying, I tell audiences a lot, Listen, if I'm interviewing you as a project manager for a next gig in our organization for the next big project, or as a gig project manager for this contract, I'm going to ask you how you use AI. I'm not going to say, do you? There will be an assumption that you do. And I'm going to say, tell me about your experience with AI. That's the new question. You better have a good answer or you're not getting the job. I don't want to scare you, but you got to jump on this bandwagon now, even if it's just on personal use. The answer is, well, I have to take notes, and that's kind of all we do corporately because that's all we're allowed to do. But within my own world, I use it too. This is jump on, experiment, have a good answer when people say, how are you using AI? Because we are project professionals. AI is taking over parts of our job, the stuff that we really shouldn't be spending a lot of time on. It's giving us a lot of time to do other really cool stuff within our projects. Focus on the people, focus on the relationships, focus on other parts of the puzzle that it needs us. It needs our brilliance and our enthusiasm, and they're not going to get that from AI. So they're giving us time, they're giving us bandwidth. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. Syracuse chapter, Joseph and gang, thank you for sponsoring this and helping us out. Nashville, always, Nora. Just great to have all of you people here. All other chapters taking part. Please feedback. I'm posting it back into the chat box right now. Please take a moment to click, open it up, and feedback. We would really, really appreciate it.
If you don't, we'll just use AI to give the feedback. And we'll be great.
Oh, stop it. And check out the new podcast from ProjectBites.com called The Bite-Sized Project Manager on Spotify, Apple, or any other places you get your podcast. Thank you, everyone. Be well, be safe, and thank you, Ori. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Aina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Night.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
All right, David, people are leaving. Are we?
You are released. Go have dinner.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks all.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you, David.
Now they have the coughing fit. Hey, Fred Stein, nice to see you again. I see your name there. Good for you. Nice to have you here. Bye, everyone.
Hi, David. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, Fred. Good to hear your voice again.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
And to you. And I apologize for our insane moron of a president.
Oh, dear. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I better go back and look at what's going on there so that I can frame that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye now.